Awesome. Here we are. Next section, chords. In particular, triads. These chords will, when we talk about triads and seventh chords, these will be on separate days. So to help kind of keep your ear fresh and also not, get things mixed up. Okay, dealing with triads. There are 4 types that we are concerned with for our final. We have our major triad, we have our minor triad, we have our augmented triad, we have our diminished triad. There's no sus. We're not going to do that. If you write that, you're guaranteed to get a point wrong there. So don't do it. Major triad. These will not all necessarily be in C. You might have, an E major triad, or maybe it's going to an F minor triad, or maybe you have an E flat augmented triad, or a D diminished triad. The root will be given to you. So what you might see is just, a G on the staff right there. I'll give you the root, and then I'll play the full chord. A couple tricks. We know major sounds happy. We know minor sounds sad. Hopefully those two kind of stick out and they're apparent enough. Now what usually happens is that we get a little bit turned around with augmented and diminished, and rightfully so. They're weird, but they're also both symmetrical chords, so it kind of makes sense in that regard too. Augmented, diminished. But look at the bottom half, the bottom interval, from the 1 to the 3, or 1 to the 3rd, and look at what kind it is. If you hear that it is, and you know that there's something weird about the chord, it's one of the weird ones, but you hear that it's major on the bottom, then you know it's augmented. Inversely, if you hear the weird chord and you hear it's minor on the bottom, then you know it's diminished. That might be a trick to help you kind of hear those in the triad form. Or, ultimately it's best to just start getting used to hearing that augmented sound. Some people associate it as a kind of a spacey sound. That might be a good way to do it. And also, as we talked about, the diminished chord, kind of like the bad guy chord, as the Far Side comic likes to joke about it. My apologies, that was a fully diminished 7, but okay. I think that takes care of triads. I'll just play a couple for you, and you can kind of listen to these, and maybe this will help you as a little study practice. I'm not going to tell you what these are. All right, 7th chord's coming up.